Good evening, everybody. My name is Dr. Angela Dixon with New Hope Chiropractic, and welcome to Pregnancy Pains. I wanted to do this webinar because as a woman who's recently gone through pregnancy, I completely understand all of the aches, pains, conditions, issues, and things that can happen to you while you're pregnant. It's a really magical time, but it can also be a really painful time for some women. We're going to talk about a lot of the common things that happen to women today while they're pregnant and what you can do about it to have that healthier, happier pregnancy. So let me pop up my PowerPoint super quick. All right, ladies. So like I said, pregnancy pains, I am a prenatal and pediatric and family focused chiropractor. Lots of things there, all family focused. We focus on families here in our office. And I have a big old list of common pregnancy pains. Now, as you browse this list and think, oh my goodness, I've definitely got some things on here, don't worry, we're going to talk about lots of things you can do to help avoid or manage this stuff that's happening. I really want to talk about the word common really quick. In our society today, we have a tendency to mix up common and normal. It's really, really common for women to experience a lot of these issues on the screen while they're pregnant, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's normal. And a lot of times we accept things that we don't have to, and we suffer when we don't need to. There are a couple times in pregnancy when back pain is considered normal. Now, back pain's on here twice. It must be really important, ladies. So when we talk about back pain in that very first beginning of that first trimester, what's happening is your uterus is expanding inside your pelvis. And before it starts to come above the pelvis, when it's just expanding inside, this can cause back pain in women because it's putting that expansion pressure on your pelvis. At this point, a little bit of back pain is considered normal. And now when we get to the end of pregnancy, we have shifted our center of gravity really far forward. We've put some weight on to help with the baby, and we've also got a lot of the hormone relaxin coursing through our body to help us get ready for labor and delivery. These three things together equal back pain. So it is common to have a little bit of back pain at the end of your pregnancy. Now, notice I said a little bit of back pain. I'm not talking about keep you up at night, restricting your activity, sciatica all the way down your leg, back pain. I'm talking some aches and pains. There are some aches and pains associated with pregnancy. Growing another human, we got to fit them inside our little bodies. That does happen, but not this horrific, just knock you out pain. And there's some other things on here that are really not fun to deal with, like, let's say, hemorrhoids. Probably don't want to deal with that while you're pregnant or going through delivery or that postpartum period. So that's something that's not really fun. Nothing on here is super fun, but let's talk about why a lot of this stuff happens. I want to tell you guys about Miss Brienne really quick before we go on. This was from her. I'm going to read it really quick. I love this. So Brienne said, I was desperate. I was well into my third trimester with my third baby. I had hip and back pain that just kept getting worse. I kept trying to brush it off and saying it was just because I was in my 30s this time and my body was on its third full-term pregnancy. Then I found out the baby was breech and seemed to have no intention of flipping into the correct position. So at 34 weeks, I limped into New Hope Chiropractic, desperate for relief from my pain and a way to flip my baby over so I could have my second VBAC, which is applause for Brienne. She had her first VBAC, super successful. She wanted to go for her second, but she needed that baby to turn. And this is what I'm talking about, ladies. When I say a little bit of pain is normal, this type of brain pain that Brienne was having was not normal. And we're going to see more of her story later and how it turned out. So what can you do? You're suffering, you have aches and pains, it's more severe. And just like Brienne said, a lot of times we try to brush stuff off like, oh, it's because it's my first pregnancy. Oh, it's because I'm in my 30s. Oh, it's because this, that, or the other thing. But a lot of times you're suffering needlessly. And I know that a lot of women think, oh, I'm sacrificing for my unborn baby. There's a difference between that and just suffering. And we don't want suffering women during the pregnancy. So this is how we think about the body. It's a lot different than you've probably heard somebody else talk about the body before, but we're going to start up at the top of the circle in the most green. It says compromised spinal movement pattern. So what we do is we look at the body and say, is it functioning properly? And when our body isn't functioning properly, we're going to end up with symptoms. So these compromised spinal movement, which means your brain and body, they're not able to fully communicate anymore or getting in the way of that communication. So your control isn't going to be as good. So going down to the bottom to the pink one, it says compromised adaptability. If your brain doesn't know what's happening in your body and your body can't tell your brain what's going on, you're not going to be able to adapt to the environment, adapt to every situation as well, because you're not getting the full picture of what's happening. So that poor communication is going to lead to, up in the yellow, it says compromised neurophysiology. So this is a fancy way to say your body is not functioning right anymore. Your cells, down to the cellular level, your cells are confused about what to do, the tissues are confused what to do, your organs are confused what to do, and we're going to start sending symptoms. Symptoms are our body's way of letting us know something's wrong. Red flag, I need you to pay attention to me. I need you to slow down. I need you to do something different. It's just the body's way of saying, please pay attention and give me some help. In the center, this says self-perpetuating cycle, which is so true because we just keep going around and around. If we don't get this stress that's stuck on off the system, we're just going to keep going around the circle, getting new symptom, more symptoms, worse symptoms. And that's not what we want. We want to break this cycle so that we don't continue to go around and you don't continue to have symptoms. So this is even more important when you're pregnant because everything you think, feel, and do, your baby feels and does too. So if you think about it, if you're stressed out when you're pregnant, your baby's stressed out. If you're happy, your baby's happy. If you're laughing, your baby's laughing. If you're crying, your baby's feeling the same emotions that you're feeling. And down to the bottom, I put what happens to mom stays with baby. So we're growing this brand new little tiny human and the nervous system that's going to run it and tell it how to live in the world. So if we are stressed out as the mama 24/7, guess what? Baby's stressed out 24/7. And while they're developing that system and learning how to adapt, they are going to develop a system that's stress-driven, where stress is stuck on, and they're hardwired for stress. Now, think about this for a second with me. So we have two sides of our nervous system, our autonomic nervous system. We have the sympathetic, which is our stress, fight or flight, survival side. And then we have the parasympathetic side. So this is our rest, digest, heal, grow, and thrive. Do you want your baby to come out wired for sympathetic or parasympathetic? Do you want them to come out wired for stress or wired for growth and healing? And this is what we see over and over again in our office, where babies come out and they struggle. They have colic, they have constipation, they have nursing issues, and we get into ear infections, and we just continue this cycle because they're in stress all the time. And when we're in stress, our immune system isn't working. We're not worried about fighting a bacteria when we think we're running from a bear all day. And it's no guilt on mamas. We're all going to have stress while we're pregnant. There's no way around it. But being really conscious of how you manage your stress while you're pregnant really is going to affect baby not only while you're pregnant, but when they come out and they're learning to live in this crazy world that we live in. I always love to tell mamas when they're pregnant, don't forget that you're important. So much of our attention goes to how is the baby doing? How is the baby growing? Are they measuring on time? Are they head down? Are you ready for baby? Do you have the nursery set up? This, that, and the other, all around baby. And it's really, really easy to forget that you're really important. You're not just this carrier vessel that's carrying this baby around until they get into the world. You're its life source. You are the thing that is providing everything. You are your baby's whole world. So it's really important that you make sure that you're taken care of too through this whole pregnancy process. So if you're stressed out because you're in pain, you've got a lot of symptoms, baby's feeling that right along with you, and we don't want you and baby suffering. We guys are both happy and excited and just welcoming this new life with open arms instead of grimacing in pain when you have baby in your arms for the first time. So I used to mama's, sorry about that, guys. Don't forget about you. Don't forget that you're important. Don't forget about your self-care. Don't forget about making sure that you're healthy, because when you're healthy, baby is healthy. So let's talk about stacking the cards in your favor. A patient recently said this to me, and I absolutely fell in love with it. She said, I have all of these tools to use to get ready for labor and delivery, and I want to do all of these things right so I can stack the cards in my favor. And I love that, because if you can do things now while you're pregnant or while you're preparing for pregnancy to help make sure that your labor progresses well, to help it be shorter, less painful, lessen the chance of intervention, wouldn't you want to do those things? And a lot of times we get so busy that we forget about some of these really important things, like taking care of ourselves while we're pregnant. We're so worried about getting the nursery together that instead of taking that walk that we needed to and listening to a devotional or doing meditation, we stress ourselves out trying to put the crib together or something along those lines. And it's really important to keep yourself front and center too while you're also pregnant. And after you have the baby, that's a whole nother discussion of making sure mama is taken care of. But what would you do? If I told you there's things you could do to have these things on the screen, would you take that step, and would you do it for yourself and for your unborn baby? So let's see what happened with Brianne. So we heard the first part of her story. She's in pain. Her baby is breech. It's her third baby. So what happened? She says, this is where I met Dr. Chris and eventually Dr. Angela. I was on maternity leave myself at the time. I got to meet her a little bit later. She said, I never imagined I could feel better in the last 5 weeks of pregnancy than I had for months before that. And bonus, baby flipped head down within a couple weeks of getting regular adjustments. So now we're setting up that awesome delivery that she wanted. Bonus points, I had really great quick delivery too. If you're looking for a chiropractor, their family-friendly office is a mama's dream come true. The kids love coming with and playing with Dr. Chris. I often have to drag them out when it's time to go. We have this all the time. Kids don't want to leave our office. Instead of dreading coming, they're dreading leaving. They love it here. And kids are always welcome to come with their parents too. And what's really important in Brianne's story is a couple of things. So she's saying she felt better in the last 5 weeks of her pregnancy than she did for months before that. So she is suffering for months, and then she got the help she needed and she felt amazing. So she felt great going into her labor and delivery. She had that quick labor and delivery, which was awesome. And she got to have the labor and delivery she wanted because baby flipped head down. How amazing is that? And this is a story that we hear over and over and over again in our office. This isn't an isolated case. This is an everyday thing for us, which is so amazing to be part of. And let's pick out a couple of things in Brianne's story. So if you think about the quick delivery, so feeling great going into the delivery is really going to have a lot of effect on this. But think about your uterus and all of your hormones working together to deliver this baby. What is controlling them? The answer is your nervous system. Your nervous system is the master controller of your whole body. It tells everything what to do and it reports back to the brain so we can adjust and make adaptations. So if your brain, the connection between your brain and your uterus is interfered with, what do you think is going to happen when we get into labor? We're going to have that slower labor. We're going to have the labor to progress. We're not going to have the right hormone balance that we need for this baby to come out. And so it's really, really very important, this connection between brain and body, so that we can get baby out safely and keep mom and baby both safe. A lot of times when they think about chiropractic, people think about chiropractic, they just think about the bony portion of it. Oh, we need to make sure that the bones can open up so there's a clear shot out. Very, very important as well, but that's not the whole story. There's a lot more to it of getting the function of the uterus, the function of the pelvic floor, the function of your hormones balanced and ready so that this labor goes just like it was intended to, and goes very smooth and very quickly. So how do we do this? How do we manage the pain that we've been having or the symptoms we've been having? How do we make sure we have a great pregnancy and that great labor and delivery? So I've got a bunch of stuff up here on the screen that's super important. And a lot of times people will kind of do a couple things, but not all the things. It's really important to hit all of your bases if you want to stack those cards in your favor. So here are the cards on the screen. What are you going to do to help ensure that amazing labor and delivery and that great pregnancy that you've been dreaming about your whole whole life. So you can read across the top. I want to hit on Headspace. This is one of my favorite ones to talk with women about. Your thoughts about labor and delivery are very, very powerful in indicating how your labor and delivery is going to go. If you think it's just going to be so painful, it's going to last so long, it's going to be awful, guess what's going to happen? Those things are going to happen. If you think it's going to be this great experience, yes, there's going to be pain, but every pain brings me closer to holding baby and it's going to be this beautiful experience, guess what's going to happen? That's what's going to happen. Your frame of mind is so vital in your whole process of labor and delivery. And there's a lot of stuff that we talk with mamas in our office about doing to get that headspace right. I talked about self-care a couple of times now, relationship care. This is something a lot of people don't think of, but your relationship with your spouse, your husband, your significant other, not going to get any easier after baby arrives. Sorry to say, you are just overwhelmed with baby when they come, and things can get a little stressful. And so making sure that you guys have that great relationship, that open communication, have things in place to help you deal with the stress of transitioning to having a newborn baby or a second baby, third baby, fourth baby, fifth baby, wherever you guys are, it's always going to be different, adding that another life, and especially newborn, to your family. So just making sure you have that healthy relationship and take steps in that way if that's something you really need to work on before baby comes. Body work. So I love women when they get acupuncture, prenatal massage. There's lots of really great things that we can do, Reiki, to help get the body ready. And we have some really, really amazing prenatal practitioners that we work with. If you want to look into this at all, just go on Google and type in supporting West Ashley, and you can find some amazing prenatal providers here and right here at home in the West Ashley area to help you. And then prenatal chiropractic care. This is what we do. Yay! I love working with pregnant mamas. So what we do is we use very specific targeted adjustments to help mama get better connected and function better, so that, guess what? When we function better and our brain and body can talk to each other, pain goes away, symptoms go away. These issues that you've been having, they go away because your body can function again, and it's not sending those symptoms out to tell you something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong. We fixed actually what's wrong instead of just covering up the symptom, and you feel so much better. You can get through this pregnancy. You can set up that labor and delivery that you want, and it's such an amazing process to go through. And ladies, I have to tell you, I couldn't imagine going through my pregnancy without chiropractic care, without prenatal massage, without doing all these things, because I wanted an amazing home birth. Good night. I don't know how many times I'm going to drop that, ladies. I wanted a home birth when I was going through my pregnancy with my baby. And it was really important to me that I had everything in order so that I could have this great home birth, because I knew that as a first-time mama, there's a 25% transport rate for home births. And I said, I'm going to stack all these cards in my favor so I can help reduce the chance of falling in that 24%, because I want this home birth. This is the birth I want with my baby. And it was an amazing experience. I'll definitely do it again someday. And so, ladies, what I want to say to you is, if you have questions, if you're thinking, gosh, this is exactly what I need, I've been in pain, I need some help, I need a referral, reach out to us. The worst thing you can do is attend webinars like this, read a bunch online, read blogs, get a bunch of information, and not do anything with it. If you don't do anything, stuff is just going to stay the same like it is right now, and you're not going to see improvement. You've got to take action. You've got to do something to help create change for you and that growing little baby inside your tummy. Here's all of our contact information on the screen. We are here to answer any questions. You can reach us through Facebook, Instagram. You can call us, send us an email, visit our website. You can send us a message from there. We're super easy to get a hold of. We're very laid back, and we just want to help. Creating a healthier, happier community here in the Low Country. This is what we're here for. This is what's so important for us to do. And like I said, if you are thinking, gosh, this is me, I want some help. Maybe I'm not sure who the right provider is for me. Is it prenatal chiropractic care? Is it a prenatal massage therapist? Maybe I need some acupuncture. I'm not sure what I need. We're that great resource place because of how connected we are with these other prenatal providers. We're a great place to stop and say, this is what's going on. Who do I go see? We have no problem with referring to other providers and getting in that right place because we want you to get the help that you need for that awesome labor and delivery. Ladies, if I've sparked any questions, please, please, please reach out to me. I am here for you. And I'm so excited to see how amazing all of your pregnancy, labor, and deliveries go. Thank you guys all so much.